Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Monday, June 6th, 2022 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I find balance between what I think and what I sense. And today we're going to do a brief look at the week ahead, and we're going to do a brief look at Saturn, which went retrograde on Saturn Day, right? I did do a write-up. You can always check back to that for more information, but it's always good to hear it, right? That's how we kind of learn, or some of us at least, is by hearing. So let's start with the week ahead. This week ahead is relatively quiet. There are no major planetary shifts happening this week. That being said, there's a few aspects that caught my attention. One of these is Mercury and Pluto in connection. That'll be on Friday. It's actually at 2:22 p.m., which I love. Mercury now direct, moving forward, moving back towards the sign of Gemini, will connect with Pluto. So being very aware of what is happening on a mental level. And it's so interesting because, I cannot remember exactly what it's called, but there's a thing called, I think it's like a negativity bias or something in the brain, which causes our mind to, because our mind usually has a bigger, reaction to negativity, we can tend to get stuck in those loops, is the basis of it. Mimi paraphrasing as not a neuroscientist, okay? So be aware of that in these connections with Pluto, where your mind goes. Now, this is happening the day before we're going to have Venus and Uranus conjunct. And Venus and Uranus conjunct in the sign of Taurus may bring up more money worth value stuff. Certainly money is up in our world, and it's really interesting. I love when I get direct lines, direct downloads, not just like a picture, not just an abstract thing, but a direct download. And the direct download when I was looking at Venus and Uranus in conjunction is we need to stop treating money as just a commodity, but rather in its own frequency, and as an energy. And I think that would help us all not be on this financial roller coaster that the world has been going through. And this goes hand in hand with the North Node hanging out in Taurus and not being in the South Node, Scorpio, fear energy. So that Venus-Uranus connection can also be relationships. Being that it is in the sign of Taurus, money, worth, the value of things is really up. And all of this goes so hand in hand with Saturn retrograde. I'm so excited to get into this. The last thing to note for this week ahead is that we are building, like I said, to Mercury shifting back into Gemini. That's going to be on Monday. And we're also building to a full moon in Sagittarius. That's going to be early in the day on Tuesday. So we may start feeling that full moon build towards the latter part of this week. Let's dig into Saturn retrograde. Speaking of frequency, the sign of Aquarius, well, the major themes of Aquarius is like friendship and community, where you belong in society, where you belong to bring forth the gifts, your gifts, Taurus energy that you have to share. One of the big things I always feel with Aquarius is the energy of frequency or energy, sensing, vibrational energy. And so going back to money, recognizing it as its own individual frequency, recognizing it as an energy, recognizing the vibration it has, the vibration you've given it, rather than just the commodity that we either have or don't have. You know, sometimes that's how money is, just, oh, we have it, we don't have it. I do better with money personally when I treat it like breathing. You breathe money in, you breathe money out, right? Just like you breathe in the oxygen, you breathe out the oxygen. It flows in, it flows out. It's meant to flow. You're not meant to necessarily hold your breath for all that long, right? You don't get the nutrients you need that way, right? So looking at it as a frequency, noticing the vibration that you treat it with. And the thing is, with Saturn retrograde, this is the final retrograde Saturn's going to go through for the next, basically 28 to 30 years. So this is important to start recognizing the frequency, the vibration of things. And if the frequency of something, the vibration of something resonates with you, is harmonious with you, or if it's, off-putting to you. And if it's off-putting, starting to notice why. Is it something that your mind has looped in, or is this maybe not for you? So this is our opportunity with this retrograde through October 23rd, I believe, from the degrees of 25 Aquarius back to 18 Aquarius. If you have anything at those degrees in your chart, you may want to investigate, because Saturn's this responsibility. We have responsibility to learn these lessons. We have responsibility to start understanding the frequency of things, the vibrational nature of things, recognizing nothing on this planet is just its solid form. And there are many vibrations that we're always fielding and feeling and sensing, whether we're aware of them or not. Starting to recognize the invisible world and all that is happening in it is a very important thing. And I'm not even talking about fairies or anything about that. I'm just talking about microwaves and radio waves and light waves and all of those things. Aquarius, if you look at the glyph, it's the waves. So we're looking at those, we're feeling through the vibrational nature of things. And that to me is the biggest focus, because the friendships, the communities, and even your offerings are all so tied into the frequency, the vibration of things. For instance, your offerings, if you value your offerings and you bring them to the world, oh my gosh, think of the power of that, versus your offerings. If you are in a not as high vibration, if you are feeling low about yourself, the world will almost seem like it's full of doors. So being aware of this is a very important thing. I always work on shifting my energy before I record the video. Sometimes I'm better at it than other times, right? Sometimes more things are going on than other times. But it's necessary to start recognizing that energy and working with it and recognizing it, again, in the world. Everything has a frequency. Everything has a vibration. I love the videos on YouTube where they will hook up a crystal, or they'll hook up plant. I've got a little plant here, it's just off camera, to listen to the frequencies that these plants give off, or the crystals give off. Everything has this. Start tuning into that, and your world will shift. So, speaking of shifting worlds, let's look at Monday's astro energy. We have the moon in Virgo. We have the sun connecting to Chiron. So definitely working on healing vibes for today. What is healing for you? The healing frequency for you may not necessarily be the healing frequency for your partner, your friend, your neighbor, your coworker, etc. But tuning into that for yourself as an individual. Chiron in Aries. Who are you as an individual? What is healing for you as an individual? And connecting to the sun in Gemini. Listening for this. Thinking through it for yourself. Gemini energy, I will remind you, can pick up wisdom from anywhere, like a sponge, or knowledge. We'll call it knowledge, because sometimes it's wisdom, sometimes it's just knowing stuff, right? And maybe it's not necessarily even wise for you. So Gemini energy can pick that up, but the Chiron in Aries piece reminds you, as an individual, what you connect to is important. We are building to Mars connecting to Chiron. What day that's going to be. I don't see it in this week ahead so much. I think it is going to be next week, probably with the full moon, that it actually, right after the full moon it hits, yeah. But we're building into that. So taking our aligned action with Mars in Aries aligns with what is a healing frequency for yourself. So keep that in mind today. With the moon in Virgo, it does bring attention to the body. Listening to the wisdom of your body. What is your body needing from you? What is your body asking for? Your body sending up pain is asking for something. I know it doesn't necessarily always respond beneficially when you're like, oh, you want water? Here it is. Sometimes it's not that simple, but still, start with little steps. Honor your body, honor your reality, virtual reality interpreter, the physical body. The only other connection we have is the moon in Virgo connecting to Venus. So yes, honoring your body, honoring the physical. Get a little time outside, grounding. Oh my gosh, does anybody have tips for grounding in Arkansas? I tend to not want to go outside in bare feet here, although I'm always wearing flip-flops. But there's chiggers, which are little like arachnid things that their saliva is highly, highly, highly itchy. And lasts for a really long time for me, and ticks. So I'm like trying to find my balance in that. So if anybody has advice, I will take it. Let me show you the cards today. We have at the top the No Thingness card. This is the Hierophant in typical, traditional tarot. I'm all over the place with words right now. Spiritual law. There is spiritual law around things, and I think when we start connecting to the vibration and the frequency of things, we can get out of the place where human law has taken over and back into like universe, right? We want to get back into universe, trusting in the universe rather than falling down all of the human rabbit holes that we fall down into. We've got some tuning in, so there is some emotional energy that may come up in and through this, so watch for that. Be present with yourself for that. I also have the Friendliness card and the Ripeness card. Interesting, some trees. This may be about not being super grounded just because there's a lot of tree energy happening right here, but it could be a good thing that's incoming. It's not quite here. It's funny, the last song that I was listening to right before I always put on music was Patience. And that's what's kind of giving me the feels with Ripeness and Friendliness. There's something good this way comes for you, but it's just not here yet. So have a little patience and be watchful for the goodness of the universe wanting to come in and sparkle up your world. I'm going to leave that here for today. You can book a reading. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. If you would like to look and investigate where Saturn in Aquarius is in your chart, we can definitely do that and more. Besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and honor your values. Namaste.